everyone. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming on this beautiful day. So today is the World Day of Remembrance. It's a day where we remember the millions of people that are killed and injured each year in traffic crashes around the world. On Thursday, Kathy handed out 240 of these little white silhouettes. Each one of these silhouettes represents a person who was killed on the streets of Seattle in the past 10 years. That's 240 lives lost. 24 per year. That's way too many. That doesn't even include injuries that happen on the roadways, many of which are life-changing. Just over here on 65th, we see an average of 20 to 25 people going to the hospital from traffic crashes per year. That's all modes, whether it's walking, biking, driving. 20 to 25 people to the hospital per year. And you just need to walk down there to see multiple close calls, to see how dangerous it feels. Watch how people avoid the street. Back in June of 2015, at the corner of 15th and 65th, Andy Hulslander was biking through the intersection and was hit from behind by a drunk driver and was killed. He was biking home from work, coming home to his family, and he was killed senselessly. Now, I live pretty close to there, so when that occurred, I went down there and talked to the police officers on the scene about what had happened, and I mentioned that I advocate for safer roadway designs. And when I talked to them, one of the things they told me was that there's nothing that the Seattle Department of Transportation could have done to have prevented this tragedy. Now, I find that incredibly frustrating because it's pretty obvious that there's a number of things that could have happened that could have avoided this outside of that person not driving drunk. If, for example, there had been a protected bike lane on 65th, it would have been impossible for somebody to get hit from behind by a driver. They would have been in a protected lane that would have had a physical barrier. Likewise, if the lanes had been narrower, it's likely that that person that was drunk would not have been driving as fast, and so Andy would not be dead. Likely, the injuries would have been, still not great, but at least the slower speeds would have meant he's here today. Or alternatively, if the roadway had been narrower, it's possible that the drunk driver would have totaled his car instead of killing a person. There's all kinds of ways that the roadway could have been designed to have prevented this. After this happened, about 6 months after, a group of us formed a coalition called Fix 65th, which is focusing on improving the roadway design of 65th. Now, we had a petition, we've held walks, we've sent letters, we've done a number of things to try to encourage the city to improve the roadway design of 65th so that people stop getting injured and stop getting killed on 65th. Unfortunately, 2 months ago, another person was killed on 65th, this time at Roosevelt and 65th. She was in the crosswalk and a turning driver struck her and killed her. I found this, the news of this particularly horrifying, considering that we had been advocating to improve the roadway, and it feels like we hadn't done enough, and the city hadn't done enough. And if we had worked harder, if the city had actually listened to us and improved the roadway, maybe that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, I found it incredibly disheartening that this occurred, and it will keep occurring until we actually improve the roadway. So we really need to be designing our streets under the principles of Vision Zero, and that is the principle that no roadway deaths or serious injuries are acceptable on our streets. It's the principle that if we design the streets so that when people make mistakes, consequences are not deadly. So tomorrow and in the future, I encourage you to join us in advocating for safer streets, however you can. But today is about remembrance. And so today we remember the people that have already died on our roadways. In a little bit, we will walk down to where Andy Holzlander was killed, and we will place a silhouette there, and we'll walk to where this other woman was killed on 65th, and we'll place a memorial there as well. In the meantime, if anyone would like to say a few words about how traffic violence has impacted their lives, or just anything they want to say to remember a person who's died, or talk about safety on the roadways, please feel free. This is your time. You're welcome up here. Thank you.
Thank you all.